bags where horror lies.
Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sunday night reviewer. So this evening I decided to bring you it's actually a 2015 movie that I believe has only just got its physical release from Vinegar Syndrome partner label. And it's called They Look Like People. Now the director, Perry something, I can't remember his name unfortunately. He's done a few movies and I've actually seen another one. It's called The Siren. I think it was a 2019 made movie but released 2020, so I watched it for one of the 2020 watches when I did a huge amount that year. 150 2020 watches in the year. It was all right, it was okay. Kind of a little bit art house mermaid horror sort of thing, but this one is a better movie, but it's very hard to talk about. I can talk about it, but I don't really want to go into anything at the end, because how the end is the movie. It's kind of not that the rest of the movie is all filler. It is kind of story building, but not the story building that you maybe assume. Well, basically we follow these two friends. You have one, it's like seems to be successful. He's like got a house, got a job, graphic designer, stuff like that. And the other friend is a bit of a not down and out, but it appears that he doesn't have a job. He's just broken up with his girlfriend, so it doesn't really have a place to stay. And he awkwardly kind of bumps into this friend. I think they used to be very close like years ago. Now it's like they've been a bit estranged for a few years, so they kind of start building up their acquaintance again and their friendship, because he don't think he has many friends, so he kind of randomly was hanging around his old mate's house, and it's a bit awkward to start with a friendship, but then it kind of clicks back into place how it was. And our stronger, more successful friends, physically stronger, mentally stronger, you start to see that he's giving himself all these pep talks. He's listening to these kind of like self-help sort of like audio books and stuff like that. And we're realizing that he's not so strong, and there's actually a power shift, like how it goes throughout the movie. So our more vulnerable friend, he actually becomes stronger throughout the movie. Like even how he is like physically, his stance changes a bit. He's a bit lurching at the start, and towards the end he's like more powerful, more confident in his strides and that. But he's actually hearing voices about this impending apocalypse, and that there's people out there that they look like people but they're not people. They're these monsters sort of thing, and he's seeing little bits and pieces from them, hearing things. So this is what I mean. It's like the movie doesn't really focus on that so much. There's pockets where it does, but the main thing is the kind of relationship with him and his friend. So his friend can be a bit arrogant, and he likes this girl, and they kind of go on this non-date kind of thing happens, where his friend comes and she invites a friend, and end up in hospital and stuff because she gets the one friend gets her head hit. She hits her head, sorry. But yeah, he's like all bit uber confident and stuff like that, a bit arrogant towards things, thinks he's going to get a promotion, and he actually gets like fired from his job. And when he's leaving, the other designer, they'd left a note. I can't remember what it says. It's not a very nice note, so everyone just thinks he's a bit of a douche, and he acts a bit like a douche. He thinks he's bettering himself, and he's just this arrogant guy that no one kind of really likes. A little bit sad. And then it's like that's kind of maybe a turning point where the other friend starts to take control a bit. But it's like they fall back into their old relationship, their old friendships, and playing silly games. And a huge chunk of the middle part of the movie is like this. It's like them just playing stupid games together and stuff, and drinking and out. It's like, where's the horror theme in this? But it comes in the third act. It kind of like this kind of impending war happens, and yeah, so our friend that hears these voices, the girl that the other guy likes, he's kind of explaining it a little bit, and she's like, oh yeah, I can hear these things, but it's not the same, but he thinks it's the same, so he takes her into the cellar, and he's been buying all this stuff, like kind of like monster interrogation stuff. He's got like acid and stuff like that, and it just freaks her out. Doesn't go well. So yeah, he just freaks her out in the end, and she leaves. Or does she leave? Did she get hurt? You don't know, because he actually makes contact with the other friend, because she freaks out and then doesn't want anything to do with his mate, and he's trying to apologize, and then he like meets up with her and stuff like that, and they're having a chat, and like she starts changing, and he's freaking out, so he leaves, and it's like you don't know if he hurt her or he didn't hurt her. You're not quite sure. But then it would really kick into the third act, and that's the one which I'm not going to talk about, because one thing with this movie that I took away from that is it really does feel like a one-time watch, because it's like the relationship between the friends is good, and like how it kind of changes and builds and remolds itself back to previous days. You don't want to watch it again, because you don't really need it. It doesn't really, it adds to the film. It doesn't add to the story at all. It doesn't really bring anything. It's where we get to towards the end of the film. It's, you didn't need a movie to bring you to that point. So that's what I mean. It's like, knowing this, it's like, I don't really want to watch it again. And though the ending was good, and it builds suspense, it builds like this almost impending fear of dread. It's very good at doing that, and like how it finishes, it's like how it takes you through some emotions at the end. Like you kind of like really getting sucked into it, but once you've seen it, it really won't have that punch the second time. It really won't work. Quite drastically, I think. It's like, that's why I don't want to go into any of the details, because it really will not do the film good for you, for your experience. It will take so much away, and then it's not a great film when you know these things. But I appreciated it whilst watching, but like I said, the one time is just enough. But anyway, that's enough rambling on. I would recommend you pick this up from the Vinegar Syndrome site. Actually just went out of, well, the slipcover just went out of print. It was just 1,000 copies, but you can still buy the movie through the website. And or it's, yeah, there's that tricky thing. It's like, I know some people will like to rewatch this, but for me, a Tubi watch was perfect. One time watch, brilliant. I've seen it now. That's great. But I do recommend watching it. It is worth watching. Some people will really, really like it, and some will find it fairly annoying and maybe boring. Yeah, I could see this one splitting opinion. Anyway, that's the end of my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.